Hey Capricorn, I'm Lucy Ravenstone and welcome to my channel. This is part 2 to your reading. I just bit my tongue when I said that. This is part 2 to your reading. Check out part 1 if you haven't first, because this will make more sense if you watch part 1 first. We're about to jump into the crossing energies. So I'm just going to jump straight in and see what's in store for you. That one. I'm loving that positioning right there. Okay, that one. No, that one. And that one. Okay. You have 3 cards there. Interesting. This is probably going to be a long part 2. I know some of the part 2s are really quickly, but I think your part 1 was quite long as well. Obviously got a lot of throwing it our way. You have a lot of guidance needed, Capricorn. Okay, see what's in store, the crossing energies. So we have the Ace of Wands to the Moon energy. So this was like kind of feeling cautiously going into something. I feel like a new beginning is giving you kind of a dynamic where you are struggling, or kind of just something in here that felt really cautious to me. And I got this sense of feeling like you are not being true to yourself as well. I remember having that vibe. We have the Three of Pentacles crossing this energy, which is interesting. This is a card, the Three of Pentacles is kind of a card of growth. Sometimes it can be sparking of a new business. So if this could very well be for some of you Capricorn, you are starting a new business, a new place of work for definite. It is a card of kind of enterprise, of learning something new, and it is a card of success as well. I feel like you really want to be successful in all areas of your life, but this area specifically, I feel like this is what's kind of, you want to be successful in this area, and because it's so scary, daunting, and you're feeling vulnerable, you are really kind of worrying that that won't be the case, which is what giving us that moon energy that I was vibing, of feeling like really out of, I want to say out of place as well. I do feel like I'm kind of reading this more so as a detach as well from this, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I got the same vibe as on the first one as such as well, which is very interesting how this is coming through. With the Moon to the Hanged Man, so feeling stuck in a situation. Okay, so this is about love. So really your vulnerable new start feels very career, and then we've got this Hanged Man feeling stuck in a situation. It's about union, it's about a romance, or a relationship of some kind. And again, relationships can be, platonic relationships as well, like family members, but it's what's making you feel stuck in a situation. Definitely getting that through here, and not having harmony in your life as well, that can signify, which is just making you feel stuck and stagnant, or trapped as well, is what I was feeling there. This card was what I found interesting. You have the World card, and then to that Judgment card, which felt vulnerable. But the crossing energy for the World is the Sun, and the World and the Sun pretty much, they're almost the same. The Sun card is about good times and wanting everything, wanting to be able to kind of like, when you step out into the sun and you get that warm feeling. This is the energy here. It's light. It's kind of wanting to feel the energy of life kind of vibe with the Sun. And I'm getting that here, but with the Judgment card, I got this really vulnerable feeling, and I feel like this is it. You're wanting to step and embrace a new future, a new adventure, and this is what's kind of making you feel vulnerable because it is all new. I am getting a heart, something to do with love within this as well, because I'm really drawn to the heart, and kind of really looking toward that as well. I feel like your focus is on love during this time. And perhaps that's where the vulnerability comes into this as well. Interesting. This is the next load of ones. We have all these cards, the crossing energy. So this is from Judgment to the communication. I am feeling very much like love life inspired reading to this second part, but I do feel like you have a lot of aspects of new and new beginnings and changes and shifts and that going on. So let's read these cards. So the Judgment card to the Six of Pentacles. I felt like there was communication needed to come at you, and the person communicating kind of has, it feels like a lot to offload. Okay, so what is influencing this? Is it healing? Kind of a lot of inner work. This is the vulnerability of the judgment I'm feeling with this. So we have the hermit, but it's giving me this need to heal. Like the hermit really does go within. It kind of goes into solitude, which I do feel is an aspect of you kind of detaching, going into a form of solitude and doing that inner work. This can be why we're having all these spiraling thoughts and that. Like when we go deep within, we do need to have a lot of time to ourselves to really discover what's going on with ourselves. I'm getting that sense here. We have the devil, which is bad habits, bad patterns, obsessions, anything to do with shadow. I'm getting a snake here, which can be like, in this instance, it's giving me kind of allowing negative thoughts to really swirl up inside you and take over. Be wary of that. I do think this solitude is putting you into that devil kind of energy where we are just creating bad patterns for ourselves. So be wary of any bad habits or even addictions or something which you could spiral into because of this vulnerable moment and this kind of isolation that you're currently experiencing. And the Six of Swords is the final. Now the Six of Swords is moving on, moving forward. This is all influence in this area. I do get the sense, again, that you are moving forward. You're having all these new beginnings and new things coming in. And this is really influencing you. It's making you feel so vulnerable. And again, I do feel like this is all kind of influencing the communication that's going to come at you. So be wary of be wary of the fact that you're going through a healing time and that you may make mistakes by allowing yourself to kind of allow that devil energy around you, so allow you to sink into negative thought patterns, allow you to sink into that darkness, because things are moving on, things are moving, and how you kind of drive yourself is the direction you're going to be moving in, is what I want to say there. Okay, so moving on to the next part. So we had this Fool energy and the hard times of the Ten of Wands. So it felt like you were falling and spiral. This is where we had the spiraling thoughts as well, kind of like emotions going to and from, going from being semi-positive to being negative. It's kind of how it was feeling to me. And carrying all the burdens. I feel like you're just taking on so much for yourself right now. We have the Page of Wands. So I definitely get this vulnerability of you just not really knowing where you're going. This is a card of communication and good news though. So I do think that because things are happening, things are moving, it's just kind of feels like just that you're carrying a lot because of this. Things are moving, and you are wanting communication is what I want from this. I feel like you're holding on to something, and it's I get this sense. I'll show you the imagery. Holding on to something, which is holding on to the staff, but kind of waiting, kind of like, come on then. Which is very interesting with that Page of Wands. So it is about wanting movement, and the page kind of is in this energy where she's learning. She's a she on these cards, that's why I'm reading it as a she, but remember, no gender attached. She's learning and she's kind of feeling impatient because she's ready to take the next steps and get moving. That's the energy I'm getting from that, and I feel like that's what's influencing the feeling of a lot going on, because you're impatient and kind of want to get to that next level. The energy from moving from the Ten of Wands to the Ace of Cups. So what's influencing this? I was kind of excited to hear what is influencing this, because the Ace of Cups feels much more healthier. But again, like I said, I felt like you were going from that to the Fool and back again, in a kind of spiral thought pattern. It is the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant can be a spiritual teacher. It can be someone who's more wiser, that can help guide you towards that kind of healthier mindset. But he's all about kind of, he knows, it's like he's been through the same things before. He comes from a place of just a higher knowing. I do get the sense that perhaps there's somebody, because in that Ten of Wands, I got this sense of there being a support, like the cat in your ear. And here, we've got the Hierophant, which can be that you have a guiding leader who can perhaps help you through this, because they are just able to be somebody who can help you in this area. Be the one who's just kind of offering you those little bits of wisdom and guidance that help you get to where you need to be. King of Wands energy to the Death card reverse. So both of these are reversed, King of Wands and the Death card. It was giving me this sense of feeling very cautious and anxious, anxious of moving forward really, and kind of not wanting those new beginnings to a degree because of the fear that I was feeling. We have the Five of Swords, which is a change. It is, what influences this is, so we've got basically the Five of Swords can indicate a conflict, an upheaval and a loss, and I feel like this is just, it's because you have a dynamic here where something is just not going right for you. Like there's kind of is this conflict that I'm feeling for you, a dynamic in here which is causing you so much kind of insecurity of unknowing. I got this sense of going into the unknown is what was fearful for you, which is why I kind of got this resistant to move forward. So the Five of Swords is what's influencing that, which is this conflict or what's in this scenario here that's giving you this insecure feelings, like uncertainty, definitely influencing you. And then what's influencing you from that Death card, to the Ace of Pentacles, which was you working hard, reaping the rewards. We have the Four of Swords, so I'm definitely getting that you, in isolation, you separating yourself, going into hermit mode, feeling very vulnerable. This is a time for you to rest and recover. This is not a time for you to take action at all. The Four of Swords really is, it's time to lay down your sword and take a step back. I do think you shouldn't be pushing for actions. You should just be enjoying the times. I will show you. Not enjoying the times as in, like, I feel like that's not what I mean. I feel like you should just not be trying to rush and jump into anything or force anything, because it is a time for you to stop, pause, take a step back. It's that kind of vibe with that Four of Swords. So I hope that makes sense for you, Capricorn. I am loving these crossing of energies. I feel like I didn't say a whole lot of new stuff for you. It felt very much the same. But sometimes I forget what I've just said as well, so don't take my word for it as I come to the end of this. But thank you very much for being here, Capricorn. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you next month.